Hello everyone! Alright, wow, it has been some time. So, I think in August I started this self-worth series and I am challenging myself to finish it up by the end of this year. And here I am going to round this series up slowly over the few weeks as we end the year. And I think, end of every year is such a good time for us to just settle down and see what happened over the year. What I usually do is, I think the crystallization of this year will help me see and be thankful over what I have learned and grown from. That will make me also be aware about what I want to further learn and experience next year. So I hope that this self-worth series can be something that add values to your life in any way. So this series, for those of you who do not know, I only started the first episode and there will be, I think, about 2 to 3 more to go. And this series is basically to share a different take on what self-worth is and possibly give a space for us to experience the self-worth that is always within us again. Okay, so in the last video, I talked about how self-worth is inherent. Self-worth is an innate quality. It is not something that you go hunting for. It's not something that you have lost. It is just something that is always there, but because of certain reason, we forgot to connect back to it. Every baby, they are born, and when you look at a baby, they are not doing anything, they are not being anything, but they are very, very worthy. That is because we came into this world with that worth always within us. And a baby is worthy just because it is alive. So are you. The worth inside you, just because you're alive, you don't have to be doing anything, you don't have to be anything, and you are worthy. All human beings in this world right now, we are all still living under the shadow of unworthiness. It is not a bad thing, honestly, because even though, being the victim of unworthiness feel really not so good, right? But on a bigger scale, we are evolving together. Take it as a lesson that we all have to learn to come into more power of our own light inside. So whenever you feel unworthy, just remember that all human in this world, we are all going through this lesson, learning together. So you are not alone, okay? And the second part of the reason, on a larger scale, sometimes this brings me comfort as well. So on a larger scale, taking a look at the whole universe, okay? We are evolving. There will be cycles, different time for different things. There will be time for healing, there will be time for difficult things, there will be time for good things. And as a whole, right now, all of us is living in that shadow of unworthiness because it is time to heal. It is time to look at what happened and then take the power back into our very, very glorious self. So in today's episode, I want to be unpacking why we feel unworthy. It is so important to understand where this unworthiness comes from. It is so important to know why, because a lot of the times we are not aware of that, and when we are not aware of that, the power is not with us. The power is with the memory. The power is with that judgment that people gave you, that comment that you heard, that person that always expect you to be something else. A lot of the time, that power become theirs and not ours. So I thought of splitting the reason into 2 ways of looking at it. Okay, the first way is on a smaller scale, on a more personal level. Okay, when we grew up, we are told to do this, told to be that, etc., etc., right? We all know the story. Okay, so why do we feel unworthy? The exact reason is because we start to believe what other people tell us what we are, and we started to think that how other people treat us is the way that we deserve to be treated. It's more like, we start to lose sight of what is true. And what is true is that self-worth is inherent. We started to forget about that part. And eventually, you might or might not continue to receive this kind of treatment or comments. But what has already happened to most of us is that we already internalize that judgment and that expectation. We internalize that to be the perception of ourselves. And that's what it means to be giving the power away to the judgment, the memory, the people, and not to yourself. So when we practice something long enough, the momentum is huge, right? It becomes a habit. If you drink water every day in the morning, it gets easier to drink water every day in the morning. And if you want to stop, you have to take some time to stop that habit. So starting and stopping a habit takes time. Same as the habit for our mind and our self-perception. So when we practice letting the memory, the judgment, the people have the power long enough, of course, it will be tough to not follow that thought or that habit, that pattern of mind. So the whole main point of this episode is to shed a light on how the reason of feeling unworthy is simply patterns in the mind, habits that we have been cultivating that are not serving us, and that those are habits and they are not you. What you are inherently is worth and love and joy. So if you are feeling unworthy today, any day of this week, any day of this month, any day of this year, I want you to hear this today in this video, that it is not your fault. You are not to blame. Having to feel not worthy from time to time, it's normal and it's okay. You are not wrong feeling that way, neither are you wrong being that way, because you, right now, the person who is watching this, you are worthy since the very, very, very beginning. Okay, so for the next little episode, I'm going to share more about what other perspectives linking up to what I said today that help me to feel easier in experiencing self-worth and claiming back that power that is innately in us that we have forgotten. Okay, so thank you so much. See you in the next one.